Welcome to Drive Culture. I'm Jonathan Rivers, and today we have the 2024 Honda Civic Si. And I'm going to tell you why this is one of the best value propositions in the sport compact segment today. So we'll go over the exterior, the interior, the powertrain, and of course, take it for a drive. So if this is content you're after, or you're new to the channel, please be sure to click that bell to subscribe to come back for more. And with that, let's get after it. So here is the exterior of the Civic Si, and we're going to talk about some of the change points from the standard four-door Civic to the Si. So first and foremost, you have a carryover color here. It's called Crystal Black Pearl. Available on any Civic, and no, there's no color upcharge for this paint, but looks pretty good here. It's a solid black. There's no pearl or speckle in here, but with the Civic Si, you get the same kind of LED headlights on the four-door Civic. They have a really nice daytime running lamps, kind of iconic now on this 11th gen Civic. But for the Civic Si, you really get an entirely different grille and lower front fascia. And for the grille, I kind of like it. So basically what they do is from the bottom of the headlight all the way across, this is like a matte black. So it's a nice little touch and it stands out. One of the other cool things is the Honda logo itself. It's kind of like 3D. So a lot of times the Honda logos are filled in. This one, it actually has holes there. So it kind of looks three-dimensional too. And of course, you got that SI badge, right? Which has been around for decades now and really stands for what sport performance is for the Honda Civic. And down low, it's not completely open, right? It's not like Civic Type R, but you do have some functional openings there for the powertrain, which we'll get to shortly. Other than that, Civic also has some nice details down here, but it doesn't have LED fog lights. That can maybe be a nice touch point for the Civic Si. So let's go ahead and take a look along the side, because one of the key differences for Si is the wheel and tire package. So on the Si, you get the 18-inch wheels. They're that split 5-spoke design, but they're in an awesome matte black finish. I really like that. Some of the other Civic Sport trims come in like a gloss black finish, so I like the matte. Let us know your guys' thoughts down in the comments below, which one you prefer, but I'm kind of digging this, especially with this Crystal Black Pearl paint. One thing to point out though is with 2024, we have an all-season tire on here. It's a 235 40R18. Now, when the Civic Si launched, there was actually an optional summer tire from Honda. That's no longer offered, so you're gonna have to go with all season from the factory. Of course, you wanna go aftermarket or get something different and upgrade, you can do that on your own. Again, let us know, did you actually even buy those summer tires when they were option? Would you buy them, or are you just going aftermarket anyway? Again, let us know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. But as we make our way along the side of the car here, again, SI's got that sport treatment, so everything's blacked out. There's no chrome around the windows. The B pillars are matte black, so that's kind of nice. Again, you'll see all the touch points, whether it's the wheels, the B pillars, or the grille. Everything's kind of like matte black on Si, and I think it looks really, really good. So as we make our way along the side, we'll start to look at the back here, because for me, I think on Civic Si, this is what makes it one of the best looking versions of Civic. What they do is they offer this rear deck lid spoiler, and it's pretty aggressive, right? This is the only trim you'll find it. Even if you go ahead and get the optional accessory spoiler on the other trims, it's not the same as the one here on the Civic Si. But around back, you got the LED tail lights, that iconic Civic light there, Civic badging, Si badging, of course, and that signature chrome Honda badge. Now, it also being an Si, you do get a chrome exhaust finisher, and it's on both sides, so it's a dual exhaust. Looks really good to me. Car sounds really good too, but we'll cover that in the drive section. So with that, I think we got the exterior details. So next, let's go ahead and hop inside. All right, here we are inside the interior of the Civic Si. And it has a lot of good sporty touches here, guys. I really like this interior. I think they made just enough changes to kind of make it feel and look a little special compared to the standard Civic four-door. So, first things first, you sit in and you got a leather-wrapped steering wheel. You got red contrast stitching, all the Civic switchgear, right? You still get all the Honda sensing features, all the cruise features are on the right side of the steering wheel, and all your volume and stuff on the left. But yeah, as I look across the dash, some of the things that they changed for Civic Si is, you still got that same honeycomb mesh that carries across the entire dash, but for Civic Si, the outer trim, which is normally like a dark gray, they made it red, and I think it's a nice touch. It's almost like a maroon color, to be fair, because it, you know, bright red be a little too much, but it looks really, really good. You still got this typical HVAC controls are all really nice, you know, feeling and nice touch. You know, hard buttons for your HVAC controls, which I like to be able to control your climate and things like that. Inside, the Civic Si gets a 7-inch TFT meter, so it doesn't get the full 10.2-inch digital instrument cluster that the Type R gets, or even like a Civic Touring. So let us know your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. Would you have liked to seen that on Si? Obviously, they're trying to keep the price down. We'll talk about that here in a second. In the center, though, you do get the 9-inch color touchscreen that's pretty much familiar throughout the Civic lineup. With that, you do get wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. What's nice is up front, you got 2 USB-Cs. They're both USB-A for both data and charging, and you get a little 12-volt socket as well. There's no wireless charger pad here, but there's at least a place to put your smartphone as well. And what do I gotta say? With it being a Civic Si, it's a 6-speed manual transmission only. We're gonna talk more about the powertrain separately, but it's right here for us to see and talk about, and I can't wait to roll through the gears. The shift knob for Civic Si is exclusive. It's its own design, own look and feel. It's got a great weight to it. Next to that, you got your drive modes. We'll talk about that in the drive part. Power and electronic parking brake and brake hold as well. So some pretty good functionality throughout, but I think one of the things that obviously stands out is the seats in this car. So I got to give Honda credit because they didn't just use the standard seats out of like a regular Civic, right? So for Civic Si, these are exclusive seats. They're aggressively bolstered. You know, has SI embroidered in the back, this kind of red pattern with red contrast stitching, and that even carries over to the door panels as well. So again, there's just a lot of nice little touch points. They didn't cheap out in certain areas. You know, even the things like the sport pedals, you know, the aluminum sport pedals down below, there's all these SI specific touch points that I think they nailed on their head. And again, you've watched a few of our videos now, you know how much I like music. So the Si does get the 12-speaker Bose premium sound system. So again, I'm in heaven. I got CarPlay, I got my music, I got some good seats to hold me in while I'm rolling through the 6-speed manual transmission. So there's not too many better places to be. So with that, let's go ahead and see what the back seat looks like. All right, here we are in the back seat of the Civic Si, and it's really spacious, maybe more so than I thought. I mean, honestly, you know, it's not the 5-door, right? This is the 4-door body style, but despite that, there's a nice little like kind of cutout here. I've got pretty good headroom. You know, you can see here I got pretty good leg room, knee room as well. That is my actual driving position. And since the seats on Civic Si are manual, right, there's no power seats for either the driver or the passenger. I wasn't going to move them anyway, but that's how much space I got. I think that's pretty good. On the doors in the back, again, I know this has been called out. You unfortunately don't get the same kind of red material that you get on the front seat. So yeah, I wish that would have carried over to the rear. Let us know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. Also, you know, you only get the one matte pocket on the passenger seat, but at least you get one. There are no vents. There is no connectivity back here. You do get a center armrest which pulls down, which is nice, and it does have cup holders in here. So, you know, the Civic Si is an actual 5-passenger vehicle, but it's pretty sparse back here, which, again, I'm not going to ding it only because, again, the fact that this car is a really, really aggressive price point. So we'll talk about that. And maybe if you can see it here in the video next to me, I also have a booster seat back here. So you can also get an idea, you know, again, as an adult, you could probably squeeze one more person in between this booster seat, but you could at least fit, you know, 4 people comfortably, your kids. There's pretty good leg room here between the booster seat and the passenger seat as well. So that's it for the interior. Let's go ahead and check out the cargo space. All right, guys, here we go. Let's check out the cargo space of the Civic Si. So, you know, you got the typical Honda key fob, lock, unlock, the trunk release button and alarm. So there's no remote engine start on this trim. You know, that's the 6-speed manual issue right there. But we'll go ahead and pop the trunk. If you hold it down, you'll see it kind of lifts it slightly. It doesn't do the full spring-loaded trick that the Accord trunk does. Be sure to check out our Accord hybrid review if you want to see that in action. But anyway, there's still pretty good space back here. Again, this is the 4-door body style, not the 5-door. So you get just under 15 cubic feet of space. We'll go ahead and put the number down below. Admittedly, it's quite a bit less than the 5-door, but it's still a pretty big space. The rear seats do fold 60/40, so you could push those down, and there is an opening there. So if you needed something, needed to move something that's really long, you could go ahead and do that. But again, I think this is enough space given that it's a small compact sedan. So with that, let's go ahead and finally talk about that powertrain. All right, here we are with the powertrain of the Civic Si. So let's jump right into it, right? The engine. It's the, if you're really geeking out, it's the L15 is the code, right? But it's the 1.5 liter turbocharged engine from Honda. In the Civic Si, it makes 200 horsepower and 192 foot-pounds of torque. But the key is that torque is really available from as low as 1,800 RPM. So around town, this car is just a lot of fun to drive, which we'll talk about shortly. It is front-wheel drive only, but there is a helical limited slip diff attached to it. And so, again, we'll talk about it during the drive, but it lets you put the power down, gives you a lot of confidence powering out of the corners. It is mated to a 6-speed manual transmission only. There is no automatic, there is no DCT option. I can only imagine what you guys are gonna say, but let us know down in the comments below, should there be a automatic option for Si? There hasn't been ever, so let us know if that's something you really want. I think just the driving and the feel that you get with the 6-speed manual transmission, I would still prefer this even if there was an automatic option, but let us know your guys' thoughts down below. And with that, of course, there's no better way to see how it actually drives than to go ahead and get behind the wheel. So with that, let's take it for a drive. All right, guys, here we are inside the Civic Si, and we're about to take this thing for a drive. So go ahead and throw on my seatbelt, but really excited to take this thing for a drive. So go ahead, clutch in, right? Car turns on, sounds pretty good. Yeah, let's go ahead and take this thing for a drive. So, a couple things I want to highlight is, again, the driving experience, right? This isn't a Civic Type R. We've already done a review on that. Please be sure to watch that video. I kind of want to, have some fun with this thing, but remember that at the end of the day, this is the kind of a step up from a Civic Sport and lives in between that and a Civic Type R. But again, this thing is $29,100 MSRP. So less than 30 grand. And yeah, I'm sure there's, dealers with markups and things like that. But if we just look at it from a pure pricing perspective, I think this thing is a great value given how high quality the cabin and materials and things feel in here. The features and content that you get in this car for this price point too. I think it's really, really competitive. Obviously there's always going to be something better, but again, given this price point, I think this might be a sweet spot. So we're going to go ahead and take off. Now, as we talked about in the interior, there's a couple of drive modes in Civic Si. So there's a little rocker panel down here. If I pull that back, there's normal. So that's kind of the default driving mode. And again, in normal mode, this is, again, a great daily driver setup. The ASC, the active sound control, is kind of, really dialed back. The throttle response and performance is kind of muted a little bit, but the car is still fun to drive. It still, gives you some power. So just a little quick, just a little bit in second gear, still gets up, right? I mean, even in normal mode, the car is still pretty quick, all things considered. So there's normal, you roll it up one, and you're in sport. Now, in sport, all of a sudden you notice the active sound control changes, the car gets a little bit louder. You immediately notice the throttle response is almost night and day from normal. And the steering, so the steering changes with the drive modes as well. So in normal, it's like the perfect balance, right? It's not too heavy, not too light. In sport, it gets pretty heavy, and I'll say in low speed settings, yeah, you probably wouldn't want it to be this heavy, but if you're hitting canyons and back roads, some twisty bits, then this sport mode setting is actually pretty well dialed in. And then there's one other drive mode here. So if I go ahead and hit the rocker again, what that does is that puts it up into individual mode, and individual mode, like the other models, allows you to do some customization. So you pull up, it brings it up on screen. You can actually press and hold the rocker to customize it as well. So I'll do that. Or you can actually customize it here. But you'll notice there's really only 2 settings for individual on SI, because there is no adjustable suspension on the 11th gen Civic Si. Let us know your guys' thoughts down in the comments below, what you think about that. Is that a must? They did remove it when the 11th gen Si came out. But here you get 2 settings. You get engine and steering, and really they can be normal or sport. So there's not a ton of customization there, but again, like I said just a second ago, if you feel that, you know, you still want the sporty engine, but you feel the, you know, heavy steering is a little bit much in sport, you can switch that into normal and kind of create your perfect combination. So with that, I'm just going to go back down and to be in the normal sport mode. And man, what can I say? I mean, this car, like the other trims that have manuals, it has the rev match feature, and it's good. Again, you can go in the 9-inch color touchscreen here and turn it off if you like. But the pedals are placed in a perfect position where if you really wanted to heel and toe and try to be that, you know, race car driver yourself, you could totally pull it off. But again, the rev match is so much, it's so fast, it's so fun, and it makes city driving so easy that I myself, even in my own car, I'm pretty much going to leave it on most of the time, right? So that's what I feel about rev match. But yeah, let's go ahead and kind of get into it here a little bit. What I will say this is too is the you know, as much as we're going to talk about the performance, we really have to quickly talk about the fuel economy, because the ratings, and we'll put them down there for you. So it's like 27, 37, 31 is maybe combined. So anyway, it's really, really good fuel economy. And the one thing about it is really good fuel economy, even if you're thrashing this thing to death. I mean, like, I've been driving pretty aggressive in sport mode, and like I can't get the average fuel to go much below like 21, 22 miles per gallon. So it's like, it's really, really good fuel economy. And again, I know you're buying this because it's an SI and it's more sporty, but the fact that like you can get like a pretty good, you know, fuel economy out of it makes it a lot of fun. So we'll go ahead and so, revving it out is a lot of fun too. And like the cool thing is like, yeah, I mean, the limited slip, it makes a world of difference. I can't imagine this car without it, because, you know, it really does help you put down the power. You feel it working as you're taking off, as you're powering through turns and things like that. It isn't a gimmick. It really changes the way this car behaves, and it's so glad that they have that in there. So again, another just a quick pull. There you go, a little tight, little tire chirp there, right? That was that first and second shift. And so again, this thing is quick, right? It's fun. I mean, yes, it's not Type R, it's not, you know, that level of performance, it's that middle ground again, but this is such a step up from the naturally aspirated 2-liter. It's still a big step up from the detuned 1.5 turbo that's in the other Civics, right? I mean, the version that's in SI, which admittedly is the same thing that's in the standard Acura Integra, this is a fun spec, man. This car is got just the right amount of performance and power for daily driver. Again, I think it's one of the best in the compact segment. So happy to review some of the other cars in this competitive set as well. So let us know down in the comments below. What else would you like to see on this channel? Are you going Civic Si? Are you doing something like VW's, you know, Golf, the GTI? Are you doing maybe like a Subaru WRX because you feel like you need all-wheel drive? Again, I think this on some good winter tires would probably be really, really good still. Again, like I said, standard, it only comes with the all-season, so there's no more summer option. But again, I think this car, man, it's so much fun to drive. You can fit, you know, 5 passengers, you can fit your stuff in, it's priced right, it's got a great sound system. Again, I don't know what more you could ask for under 30 grand. So I'm pretty happy with it. I think anybody that has this car, that has it, is a true enthusiast, because again, it only comes with the 6-speed manual, and it's a ton of fun to drive. It really is. So anyway, quick little video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. With that, we'll go ahead and wrap things up. All right, guys, that's a wrap. What did you think of the 2024 Honda Civic Si? For $29,100 MSRP, to me, it screams value, right? Under 30 grand. Now, again, I know there's dealer markups maybe and whatever else, but just looking at it from a pure pricing, I think you get a ton of car for the money. Obviously, I had a ton of fun driving it, rolling through those gears. Still one of the best 6-speed manual transmissions in the business. Again, for me, it's enough power and you get really good fuel efficiency too. So maybe it's a great daily for some of you. Let us know your guys' comments down and below. And again, are you gonna go Civic Si? Are you jumping all the way up to Type R? Or are you even looking at some of the competition that's out there? What is it? The Elantra N, the Volkswagen GTI, the Subaru WRX. Let us know your guys' thoughts down below, and let us know if you want to see other trims or other vehicles on this channel. Happy to bring it to you. So with that, thanks again for watching. Please click that bell to subscribe to come back for more, and we'll see you at the next episode.